Trader Cobb Crypto Podcast. This is the Trader Cobb Crypto Podcast.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Trader Cobb Crypto Show. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today I've got another great guest with me from the finance and hedge fund world. I've got David Wills, who's the Chief Operating Officer of Kenetic and also the co-founder of a platform called Caspian, which I'm very, very interested to find out more about because it is in the world of trading, and that's what I do, and obviously a lot of the listeners are involved in the markets as well. So David, thanks very much, first of all, for being on the show, and if you could just give a little bit of an intro on yourself and what you're doing, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me, Craig. Pleasure to be here. As you mentioned, I'm the COO of Kenetic. Kenetic is a Hong Kong-based company. We have about 45 employees or so, and we essentially a full-service crypto and blockchain platform. We have a number of different business verticals. We do advisory services for companies that are looking to do ICOs and sort of post-ICO treasury management. We have an asset management arm. We have a capital markets arm where we do a lot of OTC trading for various different clients. We build technology, and we're also very actively engaged in the community. We run conferences and do a lot of online community building, etc. When I joined Kenetic and sort of surveyed the business lines that I just described last summer, it became very clear that, especially for our asset management business and trading business, that there were really no sophisticated technology tools out there to service the needs of such, fund managers and sophisticated traders. It's a very fragmented market. Most people are using a combination of Google Sheets and API links, and it's all very manual and cumbersome. So what I decided to do, given my previous life as a head of trading for a hedge fund out here in Asia, was contact one of the previous vendors that I had quite a lot of, experience with and relationship with, a company called Tora, which basically has been around for about 14 years. They have about 250 employees, 190 of which are developers. And, I put my feelers out to see if they had thought about looking at the crypto space at all, we were very interested in perhaps collaborating on a project together, which really resonated with them. Fortunately, one of their managing directors there, a guy named Garrett, is a very keen crypto trader and had been trying to get such a project off the ground internally, but, was looking for a partner, if you will, to come on board. So, serendipity struck, and we managed to form a relationship, and which essentially gave birth to Caspian, which is leveraging a lot of the core infrastructure that Tora has and bolting on crypto as an asset class. So it's a fully developed order and execution management system, portfolio and risk management system that really captures the full trade life cycle for any trade that's being done, and that in turn allows you to see your real-time and historical profit and loss exposure, etc. And it's a very exciting project. We're about 6 months into it now, and I've probably done close to 200 demos to date.
Wow. So it kind of sounds to me like what you're doing would be the logical step for any company trying to create an ecosystem for institutional money as well as high net worth traders and whatnot as well. Because I can tell you one of the frustrations for me, having come from a traditional trading background into crypto, is the clunkiness. It is extraordinarily frustrating. An example was today, though. I found a short trade that set up beautifully for me based on my strategies on Cardano. It was against the dollar. Now, that's a top 10 token. I couldn't short that. There was nowhere for me to short that. None. Nowhere at all. Now, for me, it's just like, why does this not live? Why is there not an opportunity for me to short everything right now? And I see a huge gap in the market and an amazing opportunity there for whoever can fill this space to onboard people like me, but a lot of other traders and also institutional money. Now, the biggest thing that we're speaking to other people within the space at the moment regarding onboarding institutional money is the issue around the custodial. Who owns it? Who runs it? Who manages it? And the security around that. Now, this seems to really be an issue in the space that will be solved. It's a matter of when. Now, from your point of view, are you seeing that as something that's really holding the institutional money from coming in? Because it's really difficult to know who holds it. Where does it live?
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of see four barriers to entry for institutions. It's custody, it's uncertainty around regulations, it's liquidity issues, and technology issues. So we're trying to solve the technology part with Caspian, but you raise a good point on the custody. There are a number of companies out there that, are obviously trying to solve that piece. Obviously Coinbase has an offering now, Gemini, BitGo, Zappo are some of the more well-known ones, whereas like Ledger has just built a Ledger Vault product that I believe they went live with last week at Consensus, which is more of a cold storage type platform. But yeah, absolutely. I think in the US, unless I'm mistaken, there is no qualified custodian that can, handle crypto assets. I know there are some groups out there that have applied for broker-dealer licenses, et cetera, to fill that void. But until there's a really elegant solution out there, which there no doubt will be in due course, I kind of think the next 6 to 12 months, there'll be some serious strides in that area. But it's definitely a gap that needs filling for sure.
So with whereabouts are you with the project at this stage? Based on Caspian, obviously what you're trying to do is marry together, by the sound of it, the technology that already exists for traditional asset classes and sort of to, really dumb it down, bolt on crypto. Obviously that's quite a cumbersome task. How far along are you? Are we up and running? Have you executed completely what you wanted to achieve? Where are we with the whole project?
Yeah, so we're pretty far along. So I think of Caspian as like a single interface, a portal, if you will, into multiple exchanges, whereby the end user would still have to go through the same onboarding KYC process with with each exchange respectively, but then could connect to those exchanges through Caspian. So right now we're connected to, I think, approximately 20 exchanges. We anticipate by Q3 that number will increase to 40 exchanges. And the project's pretty far along. I think because we've partnered with Tora, we've been able to leverage, their very deep bench of developers there. So we've had approximately 50 developers working on this project for the last 6 months. It's in beta now. We have a handful of beta clients. We went live last week with Galaxy, Mike Novogratz's firm in New York, as well as a bunch of others. And we anticipate we will roll it out by early July.
Okay, that's what I was after. That's excellent. So I'm trying to picture this, right? Am I picturing something along the lines of a Bloomberg type terminal for crypto?
Listen, there's definitely elements of that. I think, Bloomberg is more data, information, news, analytics, etc. This is more specifically around the actual trading system that one needs to effectively manage a portfolio of crypto assets. And I think as well, as you start to see more like futures and options, etc., whether it's the CMEs, the CBOEs, etc., you will need platforms that essentially can handle multiple asset classes, and from a booking perspective, and how you essentially manage that risk, and ultimately as well spot like arbitrage trading opportunities and so forth between the different asset classes. So that's where Caspian is extremely comprehensive, because it can handle any asset class basically.
So you're focusing on getting up and running by July to plug people in and make this work. Now, my question to you is, What's your barrier to entry? Can just anybody come in? I know you are looking to focus more so on the institutional side of things, but somebody who's an active trader who might have a bit of volume that they run through, what is your barrier to entry? Because I'm definitely interested in trying to find something that makes my life a hell of a lot easier, requires less spreadsheets and less cumbersome crap that I really don't enjoy doing. I just want to find trades and trade.
Yeah, sure. Listen, there's no real, I guess the barrier to entry is resources on our side to be able to onboard everyone. I think, we've got an overwhelmingly positive response through the countless demos and trade shows that we've done to date. So I sort of, it's a big topic of conversation now is like, making that experience, that onboarding experience, a seamless one and one that is going to have a very positive user experience. And I think, with any new business where there is, overwhelming amount of demand for the product, I anticipate there'll be friction in the short term. And as we sort of, work out all those issues. So, barrier to entry would be our ability to really sort of resource adequately, in the short term, but that will get better as we sort of go through more of these things. And I mean, listen, the reality is it's a very sophisticated, trading tool. I don't think it's not really aimed at retail investors. We may contemplate in the future doing a more of a, I guess, bare bones type product that would be more appropriate for retail. This is really geared towards like, okay, I trade crypto for a living. I swing, I trade in pretty decent sizes, tickets, and I need a comprehensive system, that is going to, facilitate that business for myself, whether I'm a fund, a proprietary trading desk, or, maybe someone like yourself that is, this is what you do full time and you consider yourself sophisticated and you want such tools to be able to facilitate such, business.
Well, it's great to know that these tools are coming. One of the things that, and you'll be very familiar with this, and I'm really hoping and sure that you are already, because in the institutional world, you can't get away with being terrible. A lot of the platforms that are out there right now available to retail and institutional grade investors are lacking, to say the least. For example, if I want to go and trade dollar yen, I can raise an order with an entry, stop, and target all in the same order. Holy cow, wow, how amazing is that? We still don't have those sorts of facilities everywhere in the marketplace. Now, I know that a lot of these businesses are focused more on onboarding more clients as opposed to the user interface and experience. Now, I'm sure as anything, because what you're doing is the opposite. You're bringing people in who have traditional trading experience. They do know what they want. They do know what they need, as opposed to people right now in crypto that never traded anything else and don't know what they're missing. So a lot of the work right now, I would suspect, and I'd like you to elaborate, David, is around making sure that all these systems are in place, that you haven't overlooked anything so that the institutional money can come in. And it's relatively, there's always going to be an onboarding process. When you start using any new technology or any new software, there's always a bit of a, I do need to learn this. It is a bit of a pain, but I'm imagining you're trying to make that learning process relatively straightforward by having everything sort of mirroring what's already available in current markets. Is that more or less the gist of it?
Yeah, listen, I think the reality is each client that we're going to be onboarding is going to be, nuanced and complex in a different way. So, I mean, by way of example, if we are onboarding an existing fund that has been perhaps in existence for a number of years and they want to import all of their historical trade data into the portfolio and risk management system, there's, that's a consideration that obviously takes a lot of work to figure out how best to do that and make sure that everything is perfect, as opposed to a new customer that's starting from scratch that, is about to raise money or whatever. That's probably a much easier lift. So it really depends on, what the needs and circumstances are of each particular client, which will dictate what that onboarding process is.
So obviously, you just said before, you've been at different shows, you've been doing all sorts, you've been working within this space. You are working with companies that have a track record in other areas. You're building from a base, so to speak, for Caspian off of the back of Kenetic and was the other
Tora.
one, sorry? Tora.
Tora.
Now, Toro, yeah. Okay. So, I mean, with that being said, with the launch date or the hopeful launch date coming up relatively soon, I mean, July is fast approaching. I'm assuming you've probably got some big clients that are lining up that have said that, yes, they will use your software, or are you still in that process? Is there any that you can note for us and the listeners?
Yes, we have a number of clients. Some I probably can't reveal. There is so we have some strategic partnerships in place. So one client will be Octagon, which is a very well-known over-the-counter trading firm based in Hong Kong. So they are, we have a more sort of formalized relationship with them. Other strategic partnerships we have are with the likes of Gemini in the US, another exchange, BitMEX here, and there's a few more in the works that will be announced in the coming days. What we're doing right now is we're in pre-sale for an ICO, which will likely happen at the end of June, and largely this exercise is really a customer acquisition strategy, because the way the token is going to work is kind of similar to how the Binance coin works initially. So you'll be able to get discounts on your trading fees if you pay with the token. There's a staking aspect of it all, as well as what we envision is we'll sort of build a marketplace, if you will. Once we get critical mass of customers on the platform, we want to encourage and incentivize third-party developers to build their applications on top of Caspian as well. So when we think about, customer acquisition, we're using this pre-sale exercise as a way to prioritize who we're going to onboard when we are actually live.
Okay, so the pre-sale, how long has that been running for?
About the last few weeks or so, and we're looking to wrap that up next week, I suppose, and then aiming for an ICO end of June, sort of early July.
Okay. Well, look, that's great. I mean, look, I'm really interested in the platform. I want to see it succeed for a number of reasons. One, I think that it's companies such as Caspian that need to be there to pave the way and to light the path, so to speak, to bring institutional money in, to make them feel comfortable, to make the transition a bit easier, to help people to pull their heads out of the sand and stop saying, oh, well, this is silly, and actually go, well, this is not silly, and I can actually now see how I can enter into this space. So I really wish you the best of luck. Now, for the listeners that are on this show, I mean, if they want to find out more about the pre-sale, more about Caspian, and more about yourself, how would they go about doing that?
Very easy. Go to our website, caspian.tech. There's a lot of information on the product there. There's some demo videos so you actually can see what the product looks like. Our white paper is there, so you can get a much better sense of how we're thinking about the marketplace and what the opportunity set is. And for anyone interested to find more about the actual ICO, they can join our Telegram group at Caspian_tech, and we can field any questions that they may have through that forum.
Sounds good. Well, David, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the program. I appreciate your time, and thanks so much. I mean, it's a really wonderful view into what's coming. It needs to happen. I wish you all the best. I want to use it when it's ready. I will be going to the website. I will be watching the demos. You will have my undivided attention because that is definitely one thing that is frustrating in this space, is that it's very clunky. Efficiency is not yet there to the level that I want it to be, and I believe that projects like Caspian are going to be a big helper in developing the space. So we thank you for your work. Wish you all the best, and we'll keep in touch.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for your time. David Wills of Caspian. Cheers, guys.
The Trader Cobb Crypto Podcast. Check out tradercobb.com because experience matters.